You're probably staring at a dozen listings, wondering if you should spend a few $100s on a power station that ends up gathering dust, or if you should keep hoping the next storm won't knock your whole house out. I get that hesitation. Nothing's worse than buying a piece of kit that looks impressive on paper but leaves you stranded when you actually need it. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's talk about the PECRON Portable Power Station 3072Wh E3600LFP and why it might be the answer or why it could be a miss for the kind of power you need. I've spent a solid week testing it in 3 different scenarios: a weekend off-grid camping trip, a night-long power outage at home, and a cross-country RV road trip. The goal was to see whether the headline numbers 3072 Wh, 5 3600W AC outlets, 16 output options translate into real, usable juice without turning the whole thing into a lug you can't move. First up, capacity. A 3072Wh battery is a serious chunk of energy. In my home test, I hooked a mini-split air conditioner, a refrigerator, a couple of LED lights, and a laptop charger to the station. After a full 12-hour run, the unit still had about 20% reserve. That's the kind of buffer you need if you lose grid power during a winter storm and have to keep essential appliances running while a generator refuels. The fact that the battery chemistry is LiFePO4 matters. Here those cells tolerate deep discharges far better than the typical lithium-ion packs. In practice, that means you can dip down to 10% state of charge without worrying about dramatically shortening the lifespan. If you're a homeowner looking for a reliable backup, that durability is worth the premium. Now, the output options. 16 different ports include standard AC sockets, 12 V-car outlets, USB CPD, and even a 240V pure sine wave inverter. In the campsite, I ran a portable fridge, a small induction cooktop, a CPAP machine, and my phone chargers all off the same unit. The AC outlets handled the fridge's compressor without hiccup, and the dedicated 12V ports kept the CPAP humming through the night. For an RV crew, having both high-power AC and low-voltage DC in one box cuts down on the number of adapters you need to lug around. It's a practical advantage you only notice when you're actually juggling multiple devices. Fast charging is another promise that gets tested in real life. PECRON claims you can refill the battery from 0 to 80% in about 4 hours using the supplied AC charger, and that held true in my trials. The solar input, however, tells a different story. With a 400-watt solar panel setup under bright midday sun, I saw a peak input of roughly 300 watts, meaning a full charge would take well over 10 hours. That's fine if you have a sunny day to sit in a van, but it's not a rapid rescue if a blackout hits at night. The trade-off here is that the LiFePO4 cells are safer and last longer, but they don't accept the ultra-high current bursts that some newer lithium polymer packs can handle. If you plan to rely heavily on solar, you need to size your panels accordingly. Portability is where the PECRON's design tries to soften the weight issue. The unit itself tips the scales at about 70 pounds, which is hefty for a portable label. The built-in trolley with a sturdy handle does make moving it from the garage to the living room, or loading it onto the roof rack of an RV, less of a chore. In the field, I rolled it onto a campsite deck and it sat there stable, even when the wind picked up. For anyone who expects to carry this on a backpacking hike, it's a non-starter. The value proposition is aimed at people who can afford a small cart or a van floor space, not those who need featherlight gear. Safety and durability aren't just buzzwords on this model. The battery management system monitors temperature, overcharge, overdischarge, and short-circuit conditions. During the overnight camping test, the ambient temperature dropped to near freezing, and the unit's internal thermostat kept the battery within its optimal range without throttling output. That kind of protection is comforting if you're using it for medical equipment like a CPAP. You don't want the power to dip because the battery got too cold. So, who should actually buy this? If